brothers and sisters, we can go ahead and stand and we'll open up our meeting. As always, we open up with prayer. And put my phone vibrate. Not any device we ask you put them on officially. Verse speech and opportunity to heaven and my polytheist. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, life and my death, O Lord, the Lord of the worlds. Bullshit has he, and this I am commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. There is no God but thee. Thou my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been just myself, and I confess my faults. So please grant protection against faults. For none grants protection against faults but thee. Guide me to the best of morals. For none guides to the best of morals but thee. And turn away from the evil and indecent morals. For none turns away the evil and indecent morals but thee. O Allah, make Muhammad successful. And make the true followers of Muhammad successful. As thou didst make Abraham successful, and the true followers of Abraham. For surely thou art praised and magnified. And O Allah, bless Muhammad, and bless the true followers of Muhammad, as thou didst bless Abraham and the true followers of Abraham. For surely thou art praiseworthy and magnified in our midst. Ameen. You may be seated. In the most holy name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad indeed is his messenger. I'd like to greet everyone in the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, my name is Brother Rodney Muhammad on behalf of the Nation of Islam, on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, on behalf of his local representative, Minister Anthony Muhammad, on behalf of our captains, sister and brother, on behalf of our secretary and all those who labor in the cause of Islam, welcome to Muhammad's Mosque number 55. As always, it's our honor, our privilege, our pleasure to welcome you out. We hope that you came in good spirit. We hope that you came ready to receive the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught and represented and exemplified by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan through his local representative, Minister Anthony Muhammad. We are always open for our brothers and sisters on various days throughout the week for you to come in and to get your inoculation, your shot, your medicine, your prescription from Almighty God Allah.
That's right.
God has determined to raise up the black man and black woman here in the hills of North America, raising us up out of a hellified condition into a heavenly condition. It is his will, and it's only by our will, connecting to his will, that we can be elevated to those great heights that Almighty God Allah is determining for the black man and woman in America. Brothers and sisters, give yourselves a round of applause. All praise. We are thankful to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his minister here in the city of Memphis for allowing us to come before you. It's always a great honor to greet the people of God, to welcome you out. We want to thank all of you for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the city today, but you chose to come and visit on the invitation of one of the brothers or sisters, and we are thankful that you answered that invitation. We know that you're going to get something, brothers and sisters, so just hold tight. You know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us somebody who is well qualified to reach down through the muck and the mire that has been heaped on us by our open enemy to that essence of God that is in man and in woman. We have our root, and we take our root from Almighty God Allah, and he has made us like unto himself. But the enemy has done a work on us. Is that right?
Right.
We have been now in our condition, and really conditioning,
Right.
because it's still going on now for 464 years. Just think over that. 64 years of which was taken out of the history. They teach us through our babies, even to this very day, that slavery started in 1619. Is that right? Well, here we are at the 400th anniversary of what they say began as the transatlantic slave trade. However, we know better from God, because God is the best knower. Is that right? See, before God came, brothers and sisters, we didn't know that it was a 64-year period of time that was taken out of the history to hide the ugly truth of how we were made into slaves. We didn't know that. We didn't know that they took our parents to the Caribbean islands, the Caribbean, right? And how they manufactured us. See, the devil, ever since his inception, brothers and sisters, he's been working in his laboratory. And generally, the laboratory has been on an island. So he started in the Caribbean Islands or the Caribbean, and he manufactured a people that is something altogether new and different, unlike their original selves. He robbed us of a knowledge of our God, a knowledge of our true religion, which really in truth is our nature. He robbed us of our history, our language. He robbed us of everything that went for our original culture, brothers and sisters, to where he reduced us to absolutely something totally new and different, making us unlike, brothers and sisters, our original selves. But guess what? God is present today, and he represents the original self. On his coming, he raised up a messenger, and he deposited in that messenger our original power and wisdom, brothers and sisters.
That's right.
And that was demonstrated by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad for over 40 years. A man who took a people who were reduced to nothing and made them into something. He took a foolish people and made them wise. Is that right? He took a weak people and made them strong. He took a disunited people and united them. Is that right? He took a people who were on the brink of a fire and he cooled them in the heat of the day. Is that right? This is the work of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He repaired marriages that were damaged. He repaired relationships between fathers and sons and daughters and mothers. Is that right? This is the type of work that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of God, was prophesied to do in the book of Malachi.
Yes, sir.
It said that he would be like a refiner's fire.
Yes, come on.
Well, you don't need a refiner's fire unless you got some dross on some valuable and precious metal. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So God takes fire and he purifies his people. He baptizes his people in fire.
Yes, sir.
And that's what's been going on now for 464 years. God has been baptizing us in fire, brothers and sisters. And we should thank God for the process. All praise is due to Allah. All of the pain and suffering that we have gone through, brothers and sisters, will not go unrewarded.
Right.
God is going to reward us and is rewarding us today.
That's right.
God has given us somebody so valuable that the messenger of God said that if he had 1,000 head of sheep and 1,000 planes per plane,
Right.
just think about that. That the minister's value is greater than that.
Come on, man.
Just think over that. He said that if he had all of the wealth that's in the earth, and you know the enemy, he tried to put some type of number on it nowadays.
Right.
He tries to tell you that the value of the earth is so many trillions of dollars. But the messenger of God said that this man is more valuable than all the wealth in the earth, brothers and sisters. That's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All praise to Allah. And that really, all praise due to Allah, that really speaks to your value. See, God makes a man of value to get to a people that he desires also to make value.
That's right.
You are valuable intrinsically.
Yes, sir.
You are valuable inherently and innately, brothers and sisters, because you are rooted in God, like I said earlier. When you know that you have a root in God, then you begin to realize your value.
Yes.
And the unlikeness that the enemy made you into becomes compelled by the appeal of the messenger of God in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and we become attracted by him, and his magnetism begins to draw us back to our original selves.
That's right.
Just think over that.
Yes,
That's
sir.
just like the water that's drawn up from the earth's surface by the sun and the moon. Well, guess what? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he represents the moon in the absence of the sun, who is the Christ today, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes,
and
sir.
that man is attracting us. Is that right?
Yes,
in this
sir.
old dark world, we need something to attract us out of this darkness.
That's
Is that
right.
right? And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is doing that.
Yes, sir.
You saw the brothers and sisters out there in Los Angeles
Yes, sir.
on social media. That's
right.
why they banned the Honorable Minister
That's
Louis
right.
Farrakhan, because of the effect that he's having on social media. They know that they can't cage him as long as social media makes available to him and to us an ability to represent to our people, to attract our people, to appeal to our people, to magnetize our people back to their original selves.
Yes, sir.
So the enemy put a ban on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Is that right?
That's right.
See, he's trying to ban the truth.
Right.
They would hope to put out the light of Allah with their mouths, but they can't do it.
That's right.
So now they want to put out the light of Allah with electrical means. Is that right? With the internet. But they can't do that, because all of these bodies, guess what? They embody the word of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All praise to Allah. These are the people that have been affected by the attractiveness of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the attractiveness of the messenger of God and the word of God from God in person.
Yes,
And that's why you see a transformation taking place.
right.
Cannot a fool see that a mighty change is taking place in every living creature?
Come on.
See, you got living creatures today who were once dead.
Come on,
You
man.
got people who were once blind, but they now see. Is that right? You have people who were deaf and dumb, but now they hear and they are able to speak and articulate a word that you have never heard before. Sparking an interest, right?
Right.
An interest in what? An interest in you being God, because that's who you are.
Yes, sir.
You are God, brothers and sisters, male and female.
That's right.
We need to think over these things.
Yes, sir.
When we see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we just don't see him as no ordinary black leader. We don't see him like that. We see this man as a leader from God, a spokesman from God.
That's right.
We see this man really as God in person. I'm just going to be real with you. You need to wrap your mind around that. We really do. Because God is present today.
Come on.
When you hear a man speaking the word of God, what else is in that man, driving that man, but the force and power of Almighty God? And when you hear the effect, I mean, it absolutely changes you internally, brothers and sisters, to where once you didn't have the power to put down the cigarette.
Yes, sir.
Huh? But when you realize that you are God,
Right.
I mean, there's no obstacle that God can't overcome.
That's right.
Right? So we put down the cigarette.
Yes,
We
sir.
put down the cigar.
Right.
We put down the black and mild. We put down the blunt. Right?
Come on, man.
I put down the blunt. I put down the black and mild, the cigarette.
Come on, man.
So that's to let you know that it is possible. I put down the drink.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't on none of the hard stuff that they own nowadays, but you can overcome that as well, because that's something synthetic and man-made.
Yes, sir.
All of the chemicals that you need are in the food. And guess what? God gave us a dietary law. God didn't leave anything out. He gave us a for Ramadan. Is that Ramadan Kareem, brothers and sisters? Y'all, a lot of y'all don't even know what that is. Y'all like, what y'all talking about? But Ramadan is the month for fasting for the Muslims.
Yes, sir.
And that name Kareem means generous. That's one of the meanings. Is that right? So God is doing a generosity to us by giving us the month of Ramadan to fast in, so that we can guard against evil. Is that right? See, when God gives you a prescription, you don't turn that prescription down, brothers and sisters. I know when you get a prescription from the doctor, sometimes we take a pill or 2 or 3, and then we be like, well, I feel better. So we put the rest in the medicine cabinet, and next thing you know, we got a whole pharmacy in our own medicine cabinet. Is that right? But God came to take all of that medicine out of our cabinet, and he came to give us a word that will absolutely heal us from within. He gives us a diet to complement that. And he gives us the month of Ramadan to fast in, so that during the daylight hours, I'm kind of dry right now. But that's all right.
That's all right.
Hey, I don't been through more than not being able to drink. I've been through more than not being able to eat, Brother Captain. Yeah, there's been some times when I knew I didn't have a meal waiting on me at the end of the day. Just think over that. I've been homeless. But the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught and exemplified by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is raising up men and women. It can raise you up, brothers and sisters. I don't really know what y'all waiting on. We taught that one day the saints gonna go marching in. Is that right? Well, that means that they're gonna be arranged in ranks. Well, where else do you see men and women arranged in ranks except in the Nation of Islam? God is making men and women to discipline themselves, brothers and sisters, according to His standard, according to His way, so that they reflect God. And when you have these people unified together with one another, guess what? There's not any obstacle that stands in their way that they can't overcome. And there's not any force that can knock down that particular force and that particular wall represented in the unity of men and women who stand with God. We need to think over that. We come on, brothers and sisters, and sign up. So that we can become a part of this great Nation of Islam. I know you might say, well, I don't know about that Islam. I'm a Christian. Well, guess what? I'm a Christian too. I'm with the Christ. I know what my man is. My man ain't dead. He living. He been off the scene for a while, but to take you into where he is and where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is today in our minds and in the mind of our enemy, please accept and receive his representative, Minister Anthony Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead, brothers and sisters.
I wasn't going to come out here for a minute. I'm like, he got it covered. Let me start in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, and bear witness that there is but one God and that Muhammad is his servant. Let me greet you with the mighty word, greetings, peace. Assalamu alaikum. How is everyone this morning? I am fine as well, giving thanks and praise to Almighty God, Allah. And if you would be so kind, let's give Brother Rodney a round of applause for his remarks. I am a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and we are always happy to hear good preaching. That's right. We are always looking for helpers. Yes, sir. Because our people need to hear a word. Yes, sir. And when we see them coming up spreading that word, we're happy to hear that. That's right. Because we're thinking about things that they could do. Right. I should say, I guess, happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers, to all of our sisters. Let's give them a round of applause, brothers. And I hope that as brothers and sons and husbands, we are doing something for our mothers. Yes, sir. You only get one mother, brother. Yes, sir. You can have a lot of brothers, a lot of cousins, you have a bunch of homies. You only get one mother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you should honor her. Mother's Day was started, and I think it was 1908. There was a young lady, her name was Anna Jarvis. And Miss Jarvis wanted to honor her mother. So she started this Mother's Day. And she didn't want it to be commercially, like this big commercial thing that you see now. Yes, sir. She wanted it to be very intimate and personal for your personal mother. And in around 1914, I think the president was Woodrow Wilson, made the second Sunday Mother's Day. And then the commercial people came. And then they saw that and they made billions. I think we're in the, $18 billion a year that they make off of Mother's Day. And we give cards that we don't halfway read. Most of us go to Walmart or Walgreens and buy some candy, as though that really shows our love for our mother. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that every day
Say that.
is Mother's Day.
Come on.
Every day. So while we give candy and we do what we do, the best way or the best gift we can give to our mothers
Yes, sir.
is to clean up our lives.
Say that.
The best gift we can give them is to see us striving to be better men and women in this society.
Yes, sir.
The best gift that any parent wants is to see the child grow into a proper maturity.
Right.
There's no greater gift than that. To have a broadening understanding of the world and to find their place in the world. So if you want to really give your mother something or your auntie, let's clean up our lives.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we attempt to do in the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I would have to say that's what they don't like.
That's right.
What they don't like is when you look around this room, you see people who used to.
That's right.
There's a whole lot of used-tos in here.
Yes, sir.
We used to do a whole lot of stuff.
That's right.
You can't out-gangster us. We was the OGs and the gangster. We was them. We used to though. But upon hearing the word, we changed our lives. And all of us thank God
Yes, sir.
for the day that we heard a word
Yes, sir.
that changed our lives.
That's right.
Because we live in a society that wants us to continue in used to.
That's right.
They want us to continue in yesterday.
That's right.
Because yesterday is big business.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you think with me. Prisons are now being privatized.
Yes, sir. Right. Listen.
It's big money.
Come on.
So if you make a phone call from prison, who's making money?
Right.
When you go to the commissary in prison, who's making money? Now, if you go to prison, they want you to pay for the bed that you're in.
That's right. Think over that.
They want you to pay for the bed. In prison, you can work for a Fortune 500 company.
Right.
But when you come out, you can't get this very job that you were doing while you were in prison.
Right.
It's slavery all over again.
That's all it is.
But if we don't change our lives, then prison becomes this revolving door.
Right.
That we go in, we come out, we go back in, we come out, go back in. Now it's 3 strikes, you in for life.
Wow.
But Islam has changed the lives of many in those institutions. Did you know that now CCA and others are getting contracts with states to run the prisons? And CCA says they will run the prisons if they could maintain 90% occupancy. As long as the prison is 90% full, they'll run your prisons. In one state, I think it was Arizona, their occupancy went down and the prison interest, they sued Arizona and won. Because y'all don't have enough prisoners for us. Y'all not locking up enough people. And they settled out of court with something like $3 to $6 billion. No, $1 million. I'm sorry. Because they have enough prisoners. Well, I thought less prisoners.
Right.
That's supposed to be a good thing, right?
Yes, sir.
That means the police are doing their job and, the schools is doing their job and less people going to jail. I thought that was a good thing.
Yes, sir.
But not to those companies.
Right.
We can't make no money if y'all don't lock some folk up.
Right.
So all of this is what we face every day as a people.
Yes, sir.
And as long as it's like that, money is spent or made. it goes out of our community into someone else's community. But when a prophetic voice comes among us, they get angry. That's my subject today, is all opposition to truth will not be stopped but destroyed. We're going to have to wake up now.
Yes, sir.
All opposition to truth will be destroyed.
Come on now. Pick on that.
And I'm going to start with this. The scripture says, and you shall know the truth. And it is the truth that will make you free.
That's right.
Part of our dilemma is not knowing the truth. You can ask people, they quote things. So and so, you say, where did you get that from? On Fox 13 News. Do you know that the news is not obligated to tell you the truth?
That's right. Think over there. That's right.
Do you know? No. The Supreme Court said they are not under the obligation of telling you the truth.
Right. Look at that.
They in business to make money. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So all opposition to truth will be destroyed. Because this is the war of the mind, or the spiritual war, or the war in heaven that people talk about. There are no angels flying around in the sky. Michael, he's floating around with I guess they say he had a sword or something, and some dragon up there with 7 heads and a tail. Stop it! You worse than the people breaking their neck. What's the new movie? The End Game, or the End? What is it called? End Game. What is End Game about?
Come on, man.
All of the movies, if you would study them,
Yes, sir.
they always have an opponent. And the quote-unquote good guys, what? Always win. Even when the good guy loses, they'll come back with another one that the good guy gonna come back and he gonna win. And the good guy always is wrapped around America and society as it is today. So the end game, that it's time for it to be destroyed. And the destruction of the end game, those are the enemies. And I never asked the question, who wants to destroy the society? Did God say that he was going to leave neither root nor branch? Is that in the scriptures? What does it mean, neither root nor branch? Couldn't you say that it meant that which you see? And that you do not see? The actual real cause of the thing? So when we talk, y'all say we are racist.
That's what they say.
Some say that. Yes, they do.
Yes, sir.
Because we are exposing what's taking place in the society. You want to blame Lil Pookie for selling some crack on the corner. That's you. You want to talk about him. You want to talk about our people who are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. But not mention the person who did the destroying.
Come on, man.
You don't want to look at the root cause of the thing.
That's right.
You like a person who just want to stomp the termite that you see.
That's right.
Not knowing if you see one, it's a whole colony somewhere that needs to be destroyed.
That's right.
I hope I'm making sense here. We live in a society that does not want truth to prevail. And they make movies to get you to be the hero of the end game. You want Captain America.
That's one. Yeah.
You're looking for some made up hero. The Hulk. A man that put on some iron and fly around and shoot people.
Yes, sir. Iron Man. Yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
Yes, sir.
The real hero shows up. You can't see. Because you're looking for some special powered hero. He got to be able to turn into a beast and slam people. If anything short Likewise, when we look at messianic ones, the same way. We're looking for somebody supposed to be so humble, but he got this power that he could literally take some dirt on it and put it in your eyes and you could see.
Come on.
You just as hocus pocus fail as can be.
That's right.
Abracadabra, presto, change-o.
Say that.
And it take us away from the reality of God.
That's right.
Let me start here. God always, the book says, I am the Lord and I change not.
That's right.
God always, when it's time to deal, sends a human being.
That's right.
Let's stop. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yes, sir.
In our scriptures that we read about a human being that came and overcame whatever they were dealing with.
Right.
But we learned something else though.
Yeah.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
This is 2018.
Yeah.
How old is the Bible?
Come on.
At the very least, it's 6,000 years.
Yeah. Come on.
And in those 6,000 years, we read about a whole lot of people. Abraham and Noah, Lot, and this one and that one, Elisha and Elijah, and Aaron, and this one and that one. Right?
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Talk with me now.
Yes, sir.
How could Satan have so much power? And all these prophets were in the world. If Pharaoh was drowned in the Red Sea, why are we catching so much hell today? Likewise, Muslims in the Quran, it talks about these prophets. And after the people didn't hear them, then God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
So wait a minute. He killed them. But they got that going on today. I'm not throwing off on anybody. No, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm asking a question. With all of these prophets, how could Satan be so powerful?
Come on.
Your Bible starts off with Satan being a little serpent in a garden. But then when you read Revelations, the big old dragon that has now deceived the whole world. But what did the prophets do? It's almost like they never had the power to overcome Satan. And the power that they had was like what Jesus said, as long as they were in the world, they were the light of the world. But when God removed them, just like then it became dark. And now we're at a time where it has never been this dark. Where people are doing any and everything you can imagine. And we are waiting on somebody. Come on. The second coming of Jesus, Muhammad, the Messianic one. Everybody waiting on somebody, waiting on a spirit. It's a human being. And the human being, when he comes, is supposed to now upset and overthrow Satan. Finally, he's supposed to be overthrown. And in Revelation, it talks about this one coming, and he's doing this, and when he overthrows Satan, then it says, from then on it will be peace, 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 from that point on. You call it, in Islam, the hereafter. Here on earth, the destruction of Satan. But now I'm going to ask you another question. I ain't even got to slide number 1 yet.
Yes, sir. Come on, sir. Take your time.
Come on.
Do you think Satan knows that he has a short time?
Yes, sir.
Do you think he knows?
Yes, sir.
And if he knows he has a short time, do you think he's going to submit and say, okay, you got me, Lord. I'm going to go on and do right? Or is he going to go to war with whomever God sends? So now the question is, how do you know who God sends? Since many will come in my name and say I'm him. That's what Jesus said. Well, how would you know who God sent? It's not who your friends are. You can judge a man by who his enemies are. So if the world is loving you, then just maybe you not the one that God sent. Since Jesus did say, you are going to be hated for my name's sake. Jesus said, if you were from the world will love you. Because the world will love its own. But since you are from the world will hate you. Well, if you are invited to the White House, is that love or hate?
Come on.
I'm going to move on because I'm going to make somebody mad now. See, I'm with a man that they hate.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They hate. And he's in good company because they hated Jesus. They hated Muhammad. They hated Moses. I'm with a man that the world hates.
Yes, sir.
And they tell you all the time that he preaches hate. But they hate him without a cause.
Yeah, they say it now. Come on.
See, there are men that are hated. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that there are three men, the three most hated men. The three most hated men is the rich man. Who shares his wealth with the poor.
Yes, sir. Think about that.
The rich man.
Come on.
See, and wealth is not always money.
Yes, sir.
See, wealth could be the word of God that you have.
Yes, sir.
That you go and spread among the millions of people. See, your wealth could be holding a 1,000,000-man march and teaching people to be morally upright. See, that's wealth.
Yes, sir.
See, and then take no credit for what you did and give all the credit to God.
Yes, sir.
See, a rich man is the most hated man. The wise man that shares wisdom.
Yes, sir.
Goes on just talk show after talk show, sharing his wisdom. Going to colleges and paying his own way to get on the campus. Where others getting honorariums, this one gets nothing. Pays his own way to the college campus to spread his wisdom. See, and the third is the man whom the Holy Quran is revealed. Most hated of men. Men like this are men of God.
Yes, sir.
So my subject again, all opposition to truth will be destroyed. And there's internal opposition and there's external opposition. Now I'm talking about internal opposition as it relates to our community of black people. See, we have, or as Public Enemy say, every brother ain't a brother. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says that God intends to manifest every hypocrite and enemy within and to expose every enemy without.
Yes, sir.
See, the word of God is twofold. It upsets the enemy within the community and it exposes the enemy outside the community.
Yes, sir.
It's like if you had a blackboard up here and you scratch that blackboard and that noise that it makes. See, the truth, that's what it sounds like to a hypocrite and your enemy. It sounds like they can't stand to hear the truth. But God intends to manifest those who say they are our leaders. They really freedom fighters for us. Many of them end up mighty rich and we still catching hell. We usually don't talk like this. We usually try to be tactful with our brothers and sisters. But some of them, their silence
Right.
today speaks volumes.
Yes, right.
And we know who you with now.
Right.
I seen them stand up for everything else. Hold a picket in a rally.
Right.
But now all of a sudden today you can't even find them. Call them on the phone, they put you on voicemail. I'm out the country right now.
Yes, sir.
Now he said, Mr. Farrakhan said, some oppose the establishment of law's truth out of sincere belief. Meaning they really don't believe it to be true.
Right.
Everybody don't believe, my belief may clash with this.
Right.
So out of sincere belief, they say, I'm not with that.
Right.
But then there are others
Come on.
who oppose the truth out of hatred of their truth and fear the loss of power, their position of influence, and their place in that which Allah is making new.
Yes, sir.
See, some are in front of us to keep us passive, to teach us to suffer peacefully. Don't rise up. Some are in front of us just to have a little rally, give us free.
Right.
And then go home and go to work the next day. They get some money.
Yes,
See?
sir.
He intends to gather them all together and to destroy them,
Yes, sir.
leaving neither root nor branch.
Right.
The Holy Quran says it like this. They desire to put out the light of Allah with their mouths.
Right.
And Allah will allow nothing save the perfection of his light, though the disbelievers are adverse.
Yes, sir.
See how that light is flickering? Now, if they're trying to put out the light with their mouth, that's propaganda, lies.
That's right.
See, now, my brother said teach on the dragon. I'm glad he brought that up because, they give us some stories in the Bible. And in Revelation, they say the dragon had a tail.
Right.
And he swung his tail and knocked a third of the stars out of heaven.
Right.
Now, the closest star to us is what? The sun, which is 93 million miles away.
Right.
So if a dragon had a tail that was going to knock a third of the stars out of heaven, the tail would have to be over 93 million miles long.
Right. Well, yeah.
If that ain't some hocus pocus for you.
Yes, sir.
And we walk around today in 2019 and we believe that.
Right. Yes, sir.
It says that there's a woman standing on the sun,
Right.
which is 853,000 degrees Fahrenheit, wrapped in the moon and stars on her head. And we take that literally, and it is not literal.
That's right.
A woman standing on the sun is meaning she's standing on the way of God.
Right.
Wrapped in the moon is like wrapped in the prophets of God. Because the prophets of God don't have their own light, so teaches the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Right.
See, prophets see darkly. Like the sun gives light to the moon, likewise gives light to the prophets.
Right.
The prophets don't have their own light. And when the sun is out, you don't need the prophets.
Come on.
The prophets are only there when there is darkness.
Right.
And they become the light that you can be guided during darkness.
Yes, sir.
I hope I'm making my point here.
Yes, sir.
They desire to put out the light. In another place it says they desire to put out the light of Allah with their mouths. But Allah will perfect his will perfect his light, though the disbelievers may be adverse. Light is not, I walk in a room, I brighten up the room.
Come on.
It's the words of God. Because man shall not live by bread alone, but what? Every word that proceeds forth.
Yes, right.
See, so we had light, and they put it out. Marcus Garvey was a light to us. Noble Drew Ali was a light to us. Malcolm was a light to us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a light to us. And now the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, they desire to put out with their of propaganda. with the mouth of propaganda lies.
That's right.
When the dragon spewed out of its mouth a flood, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said it means propaganda, lies. He's a hater. He's a bigot. He's an anti-Semite. They just keep lying. He called Judaism a gutter religion. I could play the clip and you could hear that he didn't say it. And they'll keep on saying it. Keep on saying it. Desiring to put out the light of God with propaganda. Have you ever heard of the term gaslighting? If I say to you, you're being gaslighted, let me tell you what I mean. See, gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation that seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a targeted individual or in members of a targeted group, making them question their own memory, their own perception, or their own sanity. Making you question the very thing that you say you believe. Gaslighting. So somebody come and you're full of lies. And somebody come and give you the truth. You get lit up with truth. And the enemy don't bother you as long as you full of lies. Because somebody said ignorance is bliss. Who said that? And then when you get this truth, here they come, and it calls you to start doubting what you believe. Because you have a hocus pocus, or we have a hocus pocus idea of belief. See, we think that belief is a flowery bed of ease. When you come and join and say, I'm with God, everything gonna be good for you. Sometimes the very friends that love you will fight you over belief. And that sometimes shocks people because that's not what you expected. Guess what, Mom? I joined the nation. Oh my God! You did what? Guess what, Mama? I'm not wearing a mini skirt no more. Girl, don't you know if you got it, you better flaunt it, girl. See, they use persistent denial, misdirection, lying, in attempts to destabilize the victim and delegitimize the victim's belief.
Come on now, teach on the battle.
And they make you think that what you see, they constantly putting it in the paper that Farrakhan said something.
That's right. They're working.
And since we are not students and we don't study,
That's right.
the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has made all of us in the Nation of Islam students. I am one of his ministers. But my title is not minister.
That's right. Come on.
My title is student minister. And he teaches us that as long as we stay in the position of a student, we can always learn.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Where we get messed up at is when we think we are what people call us. So I'm a minister. If you come to me and say minister, now all of a sudden my head get this big. I can't even get in the room. Now, like I know everything. Now, you know some of them like that, don't you? You know them like that. I'm not humble and want to learn anymore because I am minister. No, I'm not.
That's right.
I'm always learning. So I'm student minister.
Yes.
See? And he said that the best title is not even that. The best title is just brother, sister. So we call each other brother or sister. Brother Anthony, Brother Joe, Brother Kim. See? Sister Jill. See? That's how we see each other. And because of that, now that develops affinity between us. You're my brother. You're my sister.
Yes, sir.
Even when we disagree, we brothers. Man, brother so-and-so got on my nerves. Sister so-and-so, man, I'm tired of her. But it's always brother or sister first.
Yes, sir.
Always. So they gaslighting us. Gaslighting our people.
Yes, sir.
Farrakhan is a dangerous man.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Now, wait, hold up. I saw some people go into mosques.
Come on now.
I saw some people go in synagogue and kill people.
Yes, sir.
I've been with Mr. Farrakhan since 1983.
Come on.
I got a little track record here.
Yes, sir.
I've been in his home.
Come on.
I've had dinner with him.
Yes, sir.
I've seen him in private moments.
Yes, sir.
Been with him in private moments.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He never one time
Come on.
since 1983 said to me anything like what they say he said.
That's right.
And you know, I want to be honest there, because you know, men, come on, brothers,
Yes, sir.
be honest. When you're around a man that you respect,
Right.
you always checking everything.
Yes, sir.
Right?
That's right.
You're always looking for more confirmation that you made the right decision.
Right.
You're always listening to what you hear. You're looking at those around him.
Right.
That's right.
He never once said to me anything other than what I'm telling you now.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
I've heard him defend everybody you can imagine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, brother.
Teach, man.
Defend them.
Yes.
Even when I spoke against them. He would chide me
Yes.
and defend them.
That's right. Yeah.
And some of us would get angry with him because he wouldn't let us get those who we thought was his enemy.
That's right. See now?
Did you hear what I said? Brother Dennis, am I lying?
No, sir.
He would not let us go after the ones that we consider to be his enemy. He would defend them in front of us.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. In that order.
There was a brother who said something about Minister Farrakhan in this city.
Yes, sir.
Now this is Memphis. I'm in Memphis.
Yes, sir.
You ain't gonna be talking about Farrakhan in Memphis.
That's right. That's right.
He comes to the city. He's at the Peabody Hotel. I go to the hotel. I'm hot because the brother done said something about the minister. I want the minister to know I'm gonna take care of it.
That's right.
And I tell the minister what he said and what I'm gonna do. He, no, sir, brother. And look at his words to me. He said, "Oh, brother,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
he just young.
Yes, sir.
Well, he just young. He can't talk about you like that, minister."
That's right.
So I have to stop and look, and then you have to ask this question: what kind of man is this?
Right.
That defend even those who attack him?
Right.
Right.
What kind of man
Right.
is this?
Right.
I'm telling you what I know.
Yes, sir.
They're gaslighting us.
Yeah.
And this is the principle that we should go after.
Right.
You remember this. If an unrighteous man brings you news, look carefully into it, lest you harm a people in ignorance and then later on be sorry for what you did.
That's right. That is right.
Always make investigation
That's right.
when somebody charges someone.
Right.
Especially they saying you consider the source.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Consider who told you what they told you.
Right.
Now here's a man that enslaved us. A man that give us hell. Now he gonna be your sincere advisor? They taught us about Jesus. They told us he is the Prince of Peace, and he is.
Right.
But sometimes in order to establish peace, you got to go to war.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
This is the part of Jesus that they don't like. There's a book out called The Hard Sayings of Jesus.
Yes, sir.
And they paint him with this lamb and all of this. But Revelations don't paint him like that.
That's right.
They paint him as a warrior.
Yes, sir.
And this is why most of the churches are not full with men.
That's right.
Because they teach Jesus in such a passive way.
Right.
There is also a warrior side of Jesus.
That's right.
I don't want to offend anybody. So I think I'll just let Jesus do the talking.
Yes, sir.
This is what he said in the book of Matthew. Don't think that I have come to bring peace to the world.
Think about it. Come on.
What?
Think about it.
Don't think that I came here to make peace.
Right.
No, I come to bring peace. I came to bring a sword.
That's right. Whoa.
I came to set sons against their fathers and daughters against their mothers and daughters-in-laws against their mothers-in-law, and your worst enemies will be members of your own family.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
I didn't come here for peace.
That's right.
I came to upset the norm of the society.
Upset it.
I'm not going to allow it to stay the same.
Right.
And Satan will never just submit. So that means there will be what y'all call, or what we call, the war of Armageddon.
Right. Yeah.
There will be a war.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jesus said.
And the Bible in Revelation says, who is able
Right.
to make war? Which means somebody had to come and make war.
Yes, sir. All about it.
And this is the Jesus they don't want you and I to get familiar with.
That's right. Make it plain.
See, they want us to turn the other cheek, Jesus.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That is an aspect of what he teaches.
Right.
But it's not the way you and I have been taught it.
Right. Right.
Turn the other cheek means you're out giving the word to people and you're speaking and they speak ill of you. You overlook what they say.
Yes, sir. Make it plain. Make it plain.
You turn the other cheek.
That's true.
Because that's a person out of ignorance that don't know what they're actually talking about.
Right.
But, so teaches the minister Farrakhan now. If they put their hands on you,
Right.
a whole nother principle now applies now.
Yes, sir.
Then you turn the other cheek because you get ready to throw another blow.
Yes, sir.
This is the warrior side of God.
Right.
The warrior side of God is after giving an opportunity and you don't do, then we go and take it back. God is going to take back his kingdom.
Yes, sir.
He's not asking, give it back. He's going to take it back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope I'm not getting anybody upset.
No, sir.
So the job of the messianic figures that come into society is to make war with the enemies of God. Jesus' return, or the Messiah's return, is to make war with the enemies of God.
Yes, sir.
So if you will be a messianic one, you got to be one who's not afraid to fight.
Yes, sir.
You don't have them just loving everybody, holding hands and kumbaya. No. Now I want you to think about Minister Farrakhan and the tapes that they let you listen to. He going to war with whatever is going on.
Right. Yes, sir.
He's a warrior.
Yes, sir.
Moses was a warrior.
Yes, he was.
Make it plain.
Moses killed an Egyptian.
That's right.
That's it.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah.
And you know what God says? So teachers, minister, God said, so I could use a man like that.
Come on.
I need a man like that
That's what God said.
to go and tell Pharaoh, let my people go.
Right.
You can't be no punk and tell Pharaoh, let the people go. Stuttering and stuff. So the scriptures also say, to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed?
Right.
See, the man that has witnessed the power of God has no fear of the enemies of God. So let me go. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that things are getting so dark in the world and the evil that people are doing is almost unfathomable. How many agree?
Yes, sir.
Aren't you running around saying, man, I ain't never do nothing like that when I was little. And these young ones today, they crazy. And you 18 talking like that. Man, these young ones is crazy today. It's unfathomable what you see. He said it is almost as though a prophet never walked among human beings, or no scripture has ever been set down for guidance. He said humanity seems to be so lost in a downward spiral into savagery and bestiality and decadence. And all of them say to you, who's to say what's right and what's wrong? Who's to say what the truth is? It's almost a lost cause. So how many agree that it's like that today? So isn't there a need for someone to give the proper guidance? So what is my idea of the one that's coming to give the guidance?
Come on.
Now I can give you the idea of what they tell you look like.
Right. Come on now. Rock.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's go over some of these.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every year. Every year.
Wait, hold. Searching for Jesus?
Every year. And time.
Wait, I thought you already found. Searching for Jesus?
Yeah.
The secrets of Christianity? The death of Jesus? Rethinking the resurrection.
Right. What?
Yeah. Rethinking.
Every year they come out with something
Yeah.
Right.
Every year.
concerning Jesus. I thought they already knew him.
Yeah.
Come on.
They even have a book called The Five Gospels.
Yeah.
Well, I only thought it was only 4. This book is called The Five Gospels. Because they found a book of gospel called the Book of Thomas. And then they say they are looking for, listen now, the historic Jesus from the prophetic Jesus. 2 different Jesuses. They are looking for the historic Jesus and what the historic Jesus actually did, and compare it to the prophetic Jesus and what the prophetic Jesus would actually do. And they say that only 20% of what you read in your Bible did the historic Jesus say.
Come on.
I'm telling you that the man's name is Mr. Funk, F-U-N-K. He wrote the book called The Five Jesus. You can read it for yourself.
Yes, sir.
They know there's a difference in what the prophetic Jesus is supposed to do as opposed to what the historic Jesus has already done.
Yes, sir.
And they don't write it as though they are one in the same. Now we got to go after this prophetic Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't you think we need him around now? Mr. Farrakhan, none of the prophets had power to overcome Satan's world. Proof of that is, look at this world. Name one of them that overcame this world. He said they may have gotten a few to believe and straighten up their lives, but they could never overcome Satan.
Yes, sir.
And he said this is why the man Jesus is so important. Because Jesus is the first one who achieves victory over Satan. And he opens up the way for everyone to overcome Satan. So Jesus is the first begotten of the dead because he's the first to overcome Satan's world. Now, are we talking about, now I'm going to get in trouble.
Come on.
Are we talking about the historic Jesus or prophetic Jesus?
Come on.
We know historic Jesus walked the earth.
Right.
And we know after he left, they overcame his religion. They overcame his teaching. And they incorporated all manner of stuff in his teaching.
Right.
This is not me throwing off on Islam because they did the same, of Christianity, because they did the same thing to Islam.
Yes, sir.
Jesus never know anything about a Christmas tree. Jesus knows nothing about some Easter bunny and some rabbits and Easter egg hunt. Where did it come from?
Come on.
These are pagan practices that were in the world long before Jesus came on the scene.
That's right.
He forbade them from doing any of those things. Paul was hard on the people for doing that.
Come on.
And when they were gone, they brought all that and put it in the fan.
Yes, sir.
That's how you got Halloween.
Yeah.
That's how you got all of those days. All Saints Day.
Yeah.
And you run around chasing ghosts and goblins and lions and tigers and bears, and that's how they did that. Peter was supposed to be the first pope who had a wife. But somewhere in there, all of a sudden, popes can't get married.
Right.
Where did it come from? They weren't even called Christians during Jesus' time. It was 325 years after Jesus that they were called Christians at a place called Antioch. And they were named that by a man named Constantine, who was a pagan. The cross was not the symbol of the Christian. It was the fish. And they took the Roman symbol of cross and put it and made it the symbol of Christianity.
Yes, sir.
This is not something I'm making up. You can study for yourself. As y'all say.
Right.
That's right.
And they put filth in Christianity and said this is from Jesus. Now the Catholic Church is messing with little boys and all. And they telling you all they got to do is confess it, they'll be saved. This is what Jesus meant when he said, get away from me, you workers of iniquity. I don't know none of y'all. I didn't teach you none of this stuff. Likewise with Islam. The prophet established Islam, and he said 3 generations after me will no longer be of me.
Come on. That's right.
And as Islam flourished, became the leading scientists of the world. Around 3 generations later, they began to use rituals. And rituals overcame the faith of Islam. And now, depending on where you are, that's how your Islam is practiced. So if you're in Bangladesh, you practice a Bangladeshi Islam. If you're in Arabia, you practice Arabian Islam. And now it's been divided into Sunni and Shia and Hanbali and all of these people, and they're killing each other. And the argument is, in Islam, which one was the rightly guided one after the death of the prophet? And they killing people because some of them say it was supposed to be Abu Bakr, and the other ones say it's supposed to be Ali.
Yes, sir.
And that's worth enough to kill people. And then tell me this Allah wants. That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would never let us follow them.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Minister Lewis followed. If I'm lost and you lost, why the hell I'm following you? You just as lost as me. My fact, more lost than me. How do you say it in the you lost, sir? I mean, is that a word? A lost, sir? Yeah. No. So he would not let us look at Muslims because they made Islam a beard. See, they made Islam some certain clothing that you wear. They made Islam ritualistic. When you go in the bathroom with your right foot first. And all this, when you come out with your left or some crap. I don't know how I mean, it is insane. If you see a light, and you know how sometimes you think you see something and you look, they say that's the jinn following you in. You got a jinn. And they just spooked out. Yes, they and they don't understand those rituals that were given to them. Likewise, Christianity the same way. You take communion, but you don't know what it means. You eating a cracker and drinking some wine.
Come on.
This is my blood. Jesus ain't getting you to be cannibalistic. It has more meaning than that. And I will say it this way, and I'm going to move on. When there's darkness, God gives rituals that have deep meaning, like you give children fairy tales when they're young.
That's a good point.
You tell them, you know, the stork brought the baby. You can't tell them how they really got here. And all day, mommy, how did I get here? You can't go and look, I was with your daddy, and you know, I saw him from across the room, and you can't talk to a child.
Come on, make it plain.
So you give these stories. The one that always comes to mind, that is the simplest one I could think of, is I remember they told me when I was growing up that there was a hare and a tortoise, a rabbit and a turtle.
Right.
They was in a race,
Yes, sir.
and the turtle beat the rabbit.
Stop.
Now, if the rabbit had beat the turtle, there wouldn't have been no story.
Right.
But because the turtle beat the rabbit, now hold up now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so we walk around holding that story in our mind. But then they have this thing they used to say, the moral of the story is.
Right.
In other words, the meaning under the story is more important than the story.
Right.
But when we are mature enough to handle the moral of the story, we can literally throw away the story.
Come on, sir. That's right.
The moral of the story is that the race is not to the swift,
Come on.
nor to the strong,
Right.
but the race is to the one that endures to the end. And when you go back and look at the story, the rabbit kept going to sleep,
Yes, sir.
but the turtle never stopped, kept on going.
Come on, man.
And the turtle beats the rabbit. Now, I've seen cartoons where the turtle had a 440 Hemi in his turtle trunk, you know, and he could. But the moral of the story is bigger than the story. But when we are infantile in our thinking,
Yep.
God gives us stories that are attracted to our infantile thinking. But under the story is so much more.
Come on.
Teach Muhammad.
But we grow up and stay infantile in our thinking.
Right. Wow. Come on, man.
And we walk around with them stories and keep them.
Yes, sir.
Imagine you walking around still believing that a rabbit, the turtle beat the rabbit.
Right.
Not one of you in here believe that.
No, sir.
Because you understand bigger now.
Right.
Okay, but what about Adam and Eve in the garden naked?
Come on now. Come on. Come on.
All right.
And they didn't know they was naked.
Yes, sir.
There's one thing to be naked.
Yeah.
Don't know you, Nick.
Now that's something else.
Right. Come on, Muhammad. Yes, sir.
And all of us have witnessed children, male and female, growing up. And at a certain point, they begin to discover things,
Yes, sir.
right or wrong.
That's right.
And you know at that moment, you got to separate them.
Yes, sir.
Because they start to discover stuff. You see them getting curious, and they start, when you go, they looking at you. They're discovering.
Right.
That's part of growing.
Right.
And at a certain point, you recognize, oh, time to separate them.
Yes, sir.
My daughter's my oldest. My son was under her. My son is 6'5", black belt, some more stuff. But when he was 2 or 1.5, whatever it was, he's down there singing Cinderella songs with my daughter. She the oldest, she watching Cinderella, she just singing. He's singing right along with her. I come in to see her singing. I got to change this. I got to fix this. I'm not having my son running around here singing no damn Cinderella. No, we can't have that. Now my son, he didn't see nothing wrong with that. But I know because she's the oldest, so she loved them kind of movies. That's what girls, but bro, man, you gonna have to watch Tombstone or something, brother. So I started telling my son, this is girl stuff.
Teach him.
This is boy stuff. When he finally understood what girl stuff was, all I had to say was girl stuff. He had it in his hand. I said, girls, he just dropped it. Because he knew, I ain't supposed to do that.
Yes, sir.
That's how it goes. That's just the nature of things.
Yes, sir.
So here we are walking around trying to say that Adam didn't know Eve was naked.
Right.
Which one of you don't recognize nakedness?
Come on, man. Don't work like that.
That means all of us, we ain't going to make it, brother.
That's right.
That's why we put her over here.
That's right. Teach
Because she was sitting next to you right now. She wearing Gucci and Chanel No. 5 and all that and whatever they call it, you ain't gonna hear nothing I say.
Oh, man.
That smell gonna get all up in your nostril. You're not gonna hear one word of what I'm saying. Because God has put a natural inclination from the man to the woman, and a natural inclination from the woman to the man.
Come on.
He could be wearing some John Paul or something in there. You sitting there, man, he sure smell good. I'm up here preaching my heart out. You don't hear nothing I say.
Man.
So we separate the sexes because of the natural inclination that God has to put in both.
Yes, sir.
Now, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
But likewise, we should do that in school.
Teach now.
You should not co-ed the schools.
Yes, sir.
Because boys, when girls are around, their ego gets challenged. Now you go overboard trying to show her how tough you are.
Yeah.
Trouble.
Yes, sir.
Same with girls. When boys are around, all of a sudden, your walk change. You start throwing it across the room. And therefore learning becomes difficult. Because you're dealing with natural things.
Come on.
So you should separate them.
Yes, sir.
But my point was this Adam and Eve. And the way they teach it to us. They was naked and they didn't know they was naked. Then God leaves. Eve eats the apple and gives something to Adam. And when God come back, they knew God was coming, but they heard him coming. Say what? How you? I thought he was omnipresent. But they heard him walking. They heard God footsteps. God got footsteps.
Come on.
And they ran to hide themselves from the presence of God.
Come on.
So they're not telling it all the way it should be.
No, sir. No, sir.
And we walk around with this in our mind. And we believe it just like this.
Yes, sir.
Then he puts them out. They have children. What's the children's name?
Cain.
No girl. Cain.
Think about it. Come on now.
Cain kills.
Right. Where the population?
God put him out.
Yeah.
He goes to this place called Nod,
Yeah.
and he get a wife.
Come on. Right. Make it plain. Love.
What I'm trying to say.
Right.
What I'm trying to say. These are stories
Yes, sir.
that have profound meaning,
Right.
but they are not literal the way you and I read them.
Teach hard, man.
There's profound meaning under those stories.
Yes, sir.
I'm not negating the story. I'm telling you the meaning is great. The story. And we're going to have to now grow up.
Yes, sir.
They paint Jesus the same way.
Right.
They make him soft.
Yeah.
Make him a punk.
Yeah.
Jesus was not soft.
Not at all.
Let me tell you what Mr. Farrakhan told me.
Come on.
And I'm gonna move on.
Yes, sir.
I was talking to him about the disciples. And I didn't like the way they handled Jesus, you know?
Right.
I didn't like the fact that they wouldn't stand up for Jesus.
Right.
He said, brother, the false false witnesses can only rule the day if the real witnesses run away. I didn't know the minister could rap like that, you know what I mean? But he said it just like that.
All right.
I'm like, yeah, that's right. He said, brother, you know, people think that was Jesus' weakest moment. He said, but it was his finest hour.
Wow.
He said he could have gotten away if he wanted to. Because the book says Jesus, knowing they thinking, went this way.
Right.
Knowing they were coming this way, he went another way. Right. They couldn't have caught Jesus unless Jesus wanted them to catch him. I'm thinking like, wow.
He knew.
So it was his finest hour, even though many saw it another way.
Yes.
I never forgot that.
Yeah.
That many look at it the wrong way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They look at it differently.
Yeah.
But the way they painted Jesus to us do you know that this world, they know that the Jesus that they painted to us is not the real Jesus?
Yes, sir.
Yes, they do. The leaders of the world know.
Yes, sir.
Let me prove it.
Come on. Come on.
I'm not going to finish this today because I got evidence.
Come on.
Have you ever heard of a book, heard of these books called the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Yes,
How many have heard of those? What are they about?
10 minutes.
What are they about? We don't know.
Yes, sir.
The Dead Sea Scrolls were books that they found in these caves
Right.
that were more accurate in the book of Isaiah and other books than what they give to us.
Come on now.
The Dead Sea Scrolls gave an accurate account of the end time or the last days. See, some of them call them, but that's a little deceiving. But the church,
Yeah.
the Catholic Church, the Pope, when the Dead Sea Scrolls were found, they kept them hidden from the masses of the people for 50 years.
That's right.
And like journalists had to sue to get them to reveal them.
Right.
Because they knew if these scrolls came out, they would have to question how they believe what they believe when they read the scroll. Now, most of us in this room, if you would believe in something, and somebody brought you evidence that what you believed is not true, would you say, I don't care what you say, I'm going to keep on believing what I believe? Or would you follow the evidence? Intelligence would be to follow the evidence.
Come on. That's right.
So if that's true, what do you call a person who has evidence and hides the evidence so people will never know the
Come
evidence?
on.
You have to call them wicked.
You got to.
You have to say it.
Yes, sir.
That you deliberately want me to be ignorant to the facts, you gotta be wicked.
Got to.
But look at what's in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Come on.
Look, talking about Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
He would not be a humble carpenter or meek shepherd preaching love and forgiveness in parables. Not the Dead Sea Scrolls, Jesus. Nor would he be a divinely incarnated offering to atone for the sins of man.
Come on.
No way.
This last Messiah, often Messiahs more than one, will be a triumphant warrior,
Come on.
a righteous judge, a wise ruler.
Say that.
He would be a warrior. He won't be no milk toast. No, he's going to be a warrior.
That's right.
The figure appears in various guises, or they write about it many different ways. But the circumstances under which they would appear is clear.
Come on.
At the end of an age of wickedness,
Uh-huh.
characterized by the enslavement of the people of Israel
Watch out.
to idolatrous foreign powers.
Come on, man.
How long you been in America?
Come on.
Is this an idolatrous foreign power?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's the newest nation,
Yup.
the newest language. English wasn't even in existence during Jesus' time.
Period.
And they have made everybody embrace their language,
Come on.
English. And everything they do, they go to overturn, or they have taken over all of the world
Come on.
and force their culture
That's right.
on the world.
Yes, sir.
So you go and they take women, and we cover women so that men could check the lust in your own heart. They say, no, let it hang out, baby.
Come on.
So you go in the Muslim world now, they want to take off their coverings.
Wow.
You go in the Muslim world now, they don't want to dress because they're looking at America and saying, I want to dress like that. And many of our own daughters,
Yes, sir.
they can't wait to become of age so they can take off their covering.
Real Muslim, please.
At the end of an age of wickedness, characterized by the enslavement of black people in America,
Yes, sir.
divinely anointed leaders, more than one,
Yup.
would rise to lead the righteous remnant to defeat the oppressor and preside over the establishment of a perfectly harmonious and egalitarian kingdom of heaven on earth.
Come on now.
The Dead Sea Scrolls and those people weren't waiting on no punk Jesus.
Not at all.
No.
They was waiting on a warrior. Who you know?
Come on.
Praises are due to Allah. This is what the enemy knew. They're not under any illusion of who Minister Farrakhan is.
That's right.
They just don't want you to know that God has raised up one among you. They don't want you to see him in the light of divine. So they want to keep him just this civil rights leader. Farrakhan, you know, he just preached for the freedom of the people. You know, right on, right on. They want to make him like that, like Al Sharpton. Farrakhan ain't no damn Al Sharpton, brothers and sisters. No, sir. No. They don't want you to see him from the light of divine.
Right.
Because then you're going to ask certain questions.
Yes, sir.
And if you're like me, you're going to start reading, you can see it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
When you see him in the proper light.
Come on now.
I hope y'all hear what I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
After this, he said, then would come a period of renewal
Yeah.
in which the meticulous observance of the divinely appointed festivals, temple sacrifices, and purity codes will make the land exceedingly fertile, and as a result, peace and harmony would prevail.
Yes, sir.
Now, the Essenes were here 3,000 years ago or so. They couldn't explain what America would actually be like.
No, sir.
See, observances, divinely observances or festivals, all of these things have meaning.
Right.
But they're not just something you're going to do for life. As Muslims, we are fasting for the month of Ramadan.
Come on. Right.
We call it Ramadan, but it's really not Ramadan. Ramadan is the name of the month in which we fast.
Come on now.
We don't eat during the daylight hours
Yes, sir.
or drink.
Right.
But it's a sign that when God comes and the light is on the world, we will no longer take in those things
Come on.
that are injurious to the spirit of the human being.
Yes, sir.
It's a ritual.
Yes, sir.
So when the new hereafter come, you're not going to be fasting for Ramadan.
Yes, sir.
You're going to be doing Ramadan every day.
Come on.
These are rituals.
Lord, man.
And during Ramadan, we read 1/30 of our book, Quran.
Yes, sir.
So after 30 days, we read the entire book.
Right.
Well, you're not going to have to read it it's going to be, you're going to be the Holy Quran. When you walk, you will be. But these rituals that we are giving, see, and you say fast only for Allah. It's not for losing weight. You fast solely for Allah. You say your prayers. See, everything we do will be a prayer.
Come on.
We have to do it on this side because we are still in darkness.
Say that.
And so we follow the rituals that purifies us and makes us stronger.
Right.
But it's not something you're going to do for I'm going to fast for the rest. No, you ain't going to have to do that in the hereafter.
Come on now.
Because everything going to be peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace. And by following the meaning of the festivals and all of that, then the earth will become fertile
Yes, sir.
and peace will prevail forever.
Yes, sir.
God chose you and me.
Right.
I was telling my wife, we were coming here, how nobody talks about forgiving more than us.
That's right.
Nobody talk like that. You're the only people.
Right.
Come on, forgive your enemy.
Quick to forgive. Come on.
Don't nobody talk, Israel, they ain't talking about forgiving the Palestinians. They blowing them up every day. And you say those the chosen people of God.
Come on. We know. They said it.
But the heart that he gave us,
Yes, sir.
like that, you're the only people with the capacity to even do that.
Come on, man.
And that's one of the reasons you're chosen. It's because of your heart.
Right.
It is like that. But you can't get it twisted.
Come on now.
Because you jump over each other.
That's right.
Trying to confer friends with white people.
Come on.
You cuss little Pookie out.
Oh, man.
But Bill and Joyce, no. So they're seeing the future. And in the future, the Messiah would not just be singular.
Come on.
It would be more than one.
Yes, sir.
And it would be particular observance. See? And he said, what distinguishes the messianic belief from mere daydream was it was balanced. It was political and spiritual aspiration.
Wow.
See, when you come to the Nation of Islam, we just don't preach a kingdom to come.
Come on now.
See, that's spiritual.
Yes, sir.
But we preach, we're going to build us a nation right now. Right now. And some have asked us, the Honorable Elijah, well, why are you going to build in America when you say God's going to destroy America? And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad would say, well, God will destroy America tomorrow.
Come on.
But you got to eat today.
Come on. That's right.
See, so we are building now.
Yes, sir.
A nation when we call ourselves the Nation of Islam.
That's right.
Our faith is a balanced faith. We don't just pray and then go do nothing.
Come on.
We pray and we go after our people.
That's right.
This is part of what we do. I'm not a Muslim.
Come on.
Unless I want for my brother or sister what I want for myself. But damn it, if I was in the mud, praise the Lord. If I was in the mud, I would want somebody to come get me.
Come on, man.
Even if I did it on my own.
Come on.
Even if I got mad and jumped out the boat.
Right.
Man, send me a life raft. Do something to get me back in the boat. I don't care what I say.
Yes, sir.
Come get me, man.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not a Muslim unless I want that same thing for my brother or my sister as I want for myself.
That's right. Wow.
Yes, sir.
So I'm talking about these messianic ones that are futuristic. Not yesterday.
Yes, sir.
They said, the Essene said, the destruction of the external oppressor was only the first step towards spiritual redemption,
Come on now.
which would only be achieved with the perfect fulfillment of the Mosaic law.
Wow.
The first step was to shake off the oppressor.
Come on now.
Wasn't the only step.
Come on, say that. First step.
Y'all remember the children of Israel out in the wilderness?
Yes, sir.
Once they shook off the oppressor, they went in the wilderness and got in trouble.
Right.
And ended up taking the calf. Even after that, when it was time to go into the new kingdom, the Quran says, they said, Moses, you and your God.
Right.
Wait a minute, I thought he was the God of, no, Moses, you and your God go in and cleanse the land and then we'll come in after that. What kind of?
Come on now.
And then God made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years and let all the old ones die out.
Yes, sir.
Some of us are like that.
Wow.
You can't fight City Hall. And how we talk, you can't fight the system. So you can't change the system. See? And we don't believe that we can build for ourselves.
Yes, sir.
So when a man like Minister Farrakhan comes and say, let's get some land. Let us do something for ourselves. A man like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad comes and teaches us this and says this to us, we fight him. Where you going to get your clothes from?
Right.
You're going to get them from the white man.
Right.
Where you going to get your shoes? You're going to get them from the white man. I know something about this because this happened in my family.
Right. Yes, sir.
Like you can't get a cow and get the leather from the cow the way they get the leather from. We can't do that. We can't get a sheep and get wool from the sheep. We can't do that.
Come on, man.
No, we can't cut up a chicken. Much as black folk like chicken, you know we can cut up a chicken.
Come on, man.
We can't build for ourselves. This is a problem with us.
Yes, sir.
That we don't ever see that as a people we could do for ourselves.
Yes, sir.
We'll go as far as to say, I don't want to live in a kingdom. There ain't no white people in there. We make jokes about a kingdom of our own.
Yes, sir.
They go on to say the people of Israel will play a direct role in their own redemption.
Say that.
Yes, sir.
God help those who do what? Oh, really? You got to take a step towards God.
Say that.
Then he'll take a step towards you. It ain't the other way around. You got to play a part in your own salvation.
Right.
You got to be willing to give up something.
Yes, sir.
If you're looking for a job, you can't get a job. Say, Lord, bless me with a job. Please bless me, Lord. Lord, bless me. And then you go sit down and get the PlayStation and start playing the PlayStation. And say, what you doing? I'm waiting on the job. I prayed for the job. I'm waiting on the Lord going to bless me. I claimed it in the name of, I claimed it. And you playing PlayStation because the job going to come knock on your door and say, here's the job, right? Now after the prayer, and we beg God to help us.
Come on.
Then you go out in the world and seek
Say that.
his bounty.
That's right.
And you might go in this place and do an interview and get the job.
Come on.
But the interview ain't coming to you.
Come on now.
You're going to play a part.
Yes, sir.
So as Muslims, we play a part.
That's right.
We get up.
Yes, sir.
We pray.
Come on.
We don't allow you to hang around us if you want to keep smoking and you want to, okay, look, I can't make you stop.
Right.
But what I can do is dismiss you from among us.
Say that.
And you can go out there with the people that do that.
Right.
Hoping that now the spirit of Islam is on you so strong
Yep.
that you go out there and you realize this ain't where I want to be.
Yes, sir.
Let me get on back where I need to be.
Come on, man.
And then you start getting rid of stuff. See, you start put, I'm gonna put this, I can't be, I'm gonna put this down.
Right.
And all of us that have put down vices,
Right.
all of us thank God
Yes, sir.
for a nation of Islam that I put these vices. If it wasn't for the nation, thank God that he established something like this
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that will force me to do what I've been wanting to do all the time.
Right.
If the scriptures say the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, how do you make the flesh strong?
Come on now.
That's right.
Come on.
If the flesh is weak, it has to be forced.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
It has to be arrested. It has to take arrested development.
Come on.
See, when you arrest somebody,
Yes, sir.
you restrict some of their natural movements.
Right.
They are under certain authority that you can't go but so far
Come on. Yes, sir.
without getting in trouble.
Yes, sir.
Some of them are under what they call house arrest. You put a monitor on. You can only go so far. So that's like this nation of Islam. You can't go but so far.
Right.
You are under God's arrest. You have been apprehended.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is beautiful. And when we wake up, we realize, man, I could really stop doing this.
Yes, sir.
I could really, because some of us don't believe that we can do it.
We know. Right.
Man, I could really do this.
Yes, sir.
And then another thing happens. There's something in you that you don't even know is there.
Come on.
It's the Spirit of God.
Say it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's in you.
Yes, sir.
It only show up when you get in trouble.
Get back.
When you get in trouble, all of a sudden he starts to say, I told you not to do.
Yes, sir.
All of a sudden, you'll find a voice.
Come on.
That's right.
And you go out among people, and it's going to shock you
Yes, sir.
because they're going to listen to you. And you're going to be like, they listening to me. It's not you.
Right.
It's the spirit that God has already put in you.
Right.
See, education is not putting something in you. The real education is bringing out what God has already deposited there.
Right.
It's already there.
Right.
I ain't trying to convert you.
Right.
You're already a Muslim.
Say that.
I ain't got to convert you. God already made you that. You and I just got to learn how to wear our Muslim.
Yes, sir.
We have learned how to wear the devil. We have learned how to wear the Negro. We have become Hall of Fame, Major League Negroes. And we wear our Negro good too. We all-star Negroes. Grammy Award winning Negroes. And we put our spin on our Negroism. Want everybody to see me and my Negroism. Put my Negroism on Facebook. Look at how Negro I am. And we practice Negroism. How do you learn to smoke? I used to do it. And for me, when I try it, I'll get dizzy. Coughing and all that. But because everybody told me this was the coolest thing to do, then I practiced and I practiced and I practiced and I practiced till I got good at it. Ignoring my body telling me I shouldn't do this. Then I could blow it through my nose. Then you inhale and then you talk and then let the smoke come out after you talk. Learn how to do it so cool, let it hang down just right. And then you work on your walk and you see you're practicing your Negroism. How do you learn to smoke weed? You don't know good weed from bad weed when you start. You get so good at it you can shake it. Take it out. Oh yeah, this the what y'all call this the whatever y'all call it now. Then you have your personal stash. Everybody don't get this. This for special people. How do you learn to drink?
Come on, man.
Alcohol tastes bad.
Come on, man.
But then you then you become a gin and juice man. Why you gin and juice? That's what Snoop said. Rolling down the street. Can you practice your Negroism. And then when it comes to practicing God, you do it one time and you want all blessings to fall down on you. Say prayer.
Yes, sir.
And God will show up immediately. And if he don't, you know I'm trying to do right, God. God, no, you're not. Stop it. Stop it. We got to grow up.
Yes, sir.
Getting acquainted with God is not like getting acquainted with a fool.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's all about fasting.
Yes, sir.
And these things are serious.
Yes, sir.
It is our way of now developing our personal commune with God.
Yes, sir.
Your personal interrelationship with Him. And when we develop that commune with Him, it causes us to shake off or throw off the world. You don't need 12 steps. Just need one.
Yes, sir.
Just know God and Muhammad is His messenger. And then you set up classes where you're always around people trying to do what you're trying to do. People who can lift you up and get a little weak.
Yes, sir.
We come from the world, and now the truth is some of the stuff we do, we're not doing it because we have to.
Not at all.
Some of this, man, we like smoking stuff. We like drinking now. We like acting a fool.
Right.
So it becomes harder to shake it because now you're talking about things that you and I have grown to love.
Right.
And we think that's a part of us now.
Right.
See, we have made sin culture now. Being sinful now is our culture.
Right. Sin culture.
They call it Sin City.
Right.
When we come in the nation, we shake off the world.
Yes, sir.
And we become what you call a new man.
Right.
And we learn to do what God pleases.
Right.
We are taught that everything that pleases us doesn't please God.
Yes, sir.
So we don't come in the nation doing as we please.
Right.
Minister Farrakhan said that we should come in and do as God pleases.
Yes, sir.
Because some of our pleases don't please God. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
And we learn to live and govern our lives under a certain law.
That's right.
We have young brothers in here, young sisters in here. They govern their lives under a certain law.
Praise be to God.
And we actually learn that we can actually live a life like that.
Yes, sir.
They lie to you and they say nobody's perfect.
Right.
The air is human.
Right.
See, that's the world trying to make you see, ain't no need of trying to be right.
Right.
Hell, maybe not everybody may not be perfect. But hell, we can sure strive for it, man. Now, you got people growing up. Who did you give your daughter to?
Come on now.
A man striving to do right,
Think about
or
it.
some thug life brother?
Right.
Now, let's just be honest.
Right.
That's my brother. But I want somebody that wants to work and take care of my daughter. That's important to me.
Yes,
Coming with your pants down, man, you're not going to get a good response from me
Yes,
if you come in trying to court my daughter looking like that.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm being out. Who you want to court your daughter?
Yes, sir.
It's your daughter. I ain't going to say no more because y'all know what I'm talking about. What are you doing, son? Well, I'm trying to get a job. You ain't gonna get no stamp with me. What are you doing, son? I'm in college. I'm trying to be a dentist. Or I'm going to school for law school. I'm going to something. I have my what you call a license for driving a truck. I have my CDL license and I'm driving okay, you can. I'm a mechanic. I'm a carpenter. I'm doing something. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now we can talk. Because you have the wherewithal to look after my daughter.
Right.
That's real.
Yes, sir.
Same with daughter. What are you doing, daughter? Well,
Wait on.
can you cook? Yeah, I can. That's real. What is your history? So we have checks and balances.
Yeah.
See, we have to play a role in our own salvation.
Yes, sir.
And say they are led by. And I gotta stop. I'm gonna stop after this.
Come on, man.
Led by their Messiah and guided by the vision of righteousness, they will literally remake the world.
Say that.
This is what the chosen elect were chosen to do.
Yes, sir.
And it has not taken place yet.
No, sir.
You and I
Come on.
are the chosen elect of God.
Praise.
And the enemy know what I'm telling you is true.
Right.
The book says it real deep. They say that they recognize the Messiah as they recognize their own sons.
Right.
They know your destiny. And their goal is to try to take you and me to hell with them. Because their days are over. They know. Can I prove it? And I'll stop.
Come on, man.
I'm going to go in the Bible.
Yes, sir.
Did they know who Jesus was?
Yes, sir.
Can I prove it?
Yes, sir.
Let's prove it.
Come on now.
There was a man named Nicodemus
Me.
who was a chief rabbi among the people. He was a rabbi. And he said to Jesus, Master or Rabbi, we know that you are a man from God. For no man could do the things that you do or the miracles that you do, and God is not with him.
Wow.
We know
Yo.
that you are a man of God.
Nice.
And Jesus said, he said, those who have been given, and Jesus said to him, what did I must have put that one in there. You remember when he said, you must be born again. And he said, you must be born of the Spirit.
Right.
But Nicodemus couldn't understand what he said. And Nicodemus said, what, I got to go through my mother's womb a second time? And Jesus said, that was born of flesh is flesh. But that which is born of spirit is spirit. And you have to be born of flesh and spirit.
Come on now.
See, we are born physically, but now we have to be born spiritually. And the spiritual birth starts with a word.
Come on, say it.
Like you're hearing now, that enters the mind
Come on.
and causes your life to change.
That's right.
Now here's a man who says, we know that you are from God.
Right.
What would you do if you knew a man was from God?
Come on now.
Not you guessing.
Come on.
You know.
Right.
Because you've done the research to see this man is from God.
Right.
Only God could bless him to get 1,000,000 men 3 times.
Come on, say that.
3 times.
I say 3 times.
Yes, sir.
So we always say the 1,000,000 march,
Right.
but we forgot about the 1,000,000 family march. There's a millionaire, and the Millions More movement is another millionaire.
Right.
Only God could bless him 3 times.
Yes, sir.
But would you do this? Then gathered the chief priests and the chief priests and the Pharisees, and they said, what should we do, for this man does many miracles? And if we leave him alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans will take away our place and our nation. Here's a man that you recognize, and you know he's a man of God.
You know it.
But we got to stop him, because if we don't stop him, all the world will go after Farrakhan. Did you see him at Nipsey Hussle's
Yes.
Yes, sir.
homegoing? I got to tell the truth. I knew nothing about Nipsey Hussle.
Yes, sir.
Most young people, they knew Nipsey.
Yes, sir.
My son said that was his favorite rapper.
Yes, sir.
He didn't say Tupac,
Come on.
Biggie,
No.
Snoop. He said Nipsey.
Yes, sir.
I knew nothing about it.
Yes, sir.
Then all of a sudden, all of this stuff starts happening. Russell Westbrook goes and gets 20 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists.
Yeah.
Said, this is for you, Nipsey.
That's right.
Because he was from the rolling 20, rolling 60.
That's right.
I mean, nobody's ever done that.
Come on.
This man going to do this for Nipsey Hussle.
Yes, sir.
And all that went into that. Then I look and here's Minister Ferguson. Where are the rest of the leaders?
Right.
Think on that.
I don't see them.
Think on
I don't know if they were not invited. I don't know.
Right.
What I do know is they weren't there.
Yes, sir.
And I heard Minister Farrakhan speak for maybe 7, 8, 10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
And as he talked, young people packed the Staples Center. 24,000 people.
Yes, sir.
And it was only 24 because that's all they could get in there.
Yes, sir.
If they could have held 34,000, it would have been 34,000
Right.
That's right.
for this brother.
Yes, sir.
And Minister Farrakhan spoke and the people were,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
and then we had a paper, final call, with Nipsey's face on it.
Yup.
We weren't selling it.
Yes,
We were
sir.
giving it away.
Say that, man.
Giving it away. Gave away 150,000 of
Come
them.
on, that's love.
We didn't know that paper went all over the world.
Yes, it
People were sending it to countries all over the world. And then it ended up on eBay.
did. Uh-huh.
They sold it for almost $300. This is something. And all of these people,
Uh-huh.
they see Farrakhan
Say that.
speaking.
Come on.
They said, wait a minute, we got to stop him.
Uh-huh.
Because the world is now going after this man,
That's right.
Farrakhan.
That's right.
We got to do something.
Right.
The young people was at the marathon,
Right.
and it started getting a little antsy. You know how young people are.
You know how it go.
They called the Nation of Islam, the police.
Yes, sir. Right.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, sir.
And ask our brother Abdul Malik, whose name is Minister Abdul Malik now.
Yes, sir.
Would you all come back and secure the place because the people getting antsy?
That's right.
And the brothers had to come back and secure the marathon because the only people that they respected was the Nation of Islam. This is fact. I'm not saying blow us up. It's fact.
Actual fact. Come on.
And we were under crowd control all through the thing. And I know y'all saw the beautiful clip when the sisters came down to the marathon. Oh my God. They said we're going to stop him because the whole world is going after him.
Whole world.
So look at what the man that said, we know you are a man of God.
Yes, sir.
Look at what they said. And from that day forward, they plotted to kill him. Who will plot to kill a man that they know is from God?
Come on.
See, you don't even want to think like that.
Got to.
That men possess the mind of Satan.
Yes, sir.
That they, when they see a man of God,
Right.
they are not rejoiceful for seeing him.
Yes, sir.
They want to kill him.
Yes, sir.
So now you see why we do the things that we do.
Yes, sir.
Because they do want to kill Minister Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
And we say it like it's over our dead body.
Come on, that's
over our dead body. That then you got to bring something to do that. See? We sit there and oh Lord,
No, sir.
protect the minister.
That's right.
See, Jesus said you shouldn't tempt God in vain.
Come on.
Teach on that.
We take that to mean we're supposed to do everything we can do first.
That's right.
And when we can't do any more,
That's right.
we ask God to take it the rest of the way.
That's right.
But we don't sit home.
Not at all.
Lord, protect the minister.
No, sir.
So wherever he go,
That's right.
you see young men around him.
Yes, sir.
We ain't smiling.
That's right.
That's right.
That's his job to do the smile.
Yes, sir.
My job is to check everybody out that come around.
Yes, sir.
And we take our young men and we train them like that.
That's right.
Our young girls, same way.
Yes, sir.
There ain't no time to be smiling and singing them damn kumbaya.
Come on, man.
It's war.
That's right.
I hope I won't mess everybody up.
Oh, man.
I know and after they did that, or said that, there was the big feast, like the Million Man March. And they saw Jesus.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm just going to play it. Just show it to you.
Come on now. Hold it.
And when the large crowds learned that Jesus was at the feast, they came out not only on account of Jesus, but they came on account of Lazarus also. That Jesus had raised from the dead. Did you hear what I'm saying? See, they ain't just they after. They coming after you too.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Farrakhan ain't in Memphis,
Come on.
but he's in Memphis.
That's right.
If you in Memphis,
Come on, man.
if we in Memphis, he's in Memphis. So we on the arm of him.
Yeah.
Yes.
You going in the highways and the byways with him.
Right.
That's right.
So they want to get Lazarus too, whom Jesus had raised from the dead.
Right.
I bear witness Farrakhan raised me from the dead. I bear witness if it wasn't for that
That's right.
Period.
man. So the chief priest made plans.
Bang.
Get him off Facebook and Instagram
Yes, sir.
to put Lazarus to death as well
Yes, sir.
as Jesus on account of him. See, people on account of Lazarus,
Come on.
your testimony,
That's right. Yeah.
they'll go away believing on Jesus.
Right.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
People that know me, say, I know. My mother said, my mother, this is my I wouldn't lie on my mother. My mother said, you can see God all in you, son.
Come on now.
Right.
This the one that put me out.
Yes, sir.
When I left, I called myself leaving.
Right. Proactive. Yes, sir.
I'm leaving. Hungry as hell out there, man. It's rough out there. But she saw it.
Yes, sir.
And I say the same to you. You see the Spirit all in you. You ain't gonna fit in on the job. You can try, but you ain't gonna fit
Hey,
in.
you better say that.
You ain't gonna fit in. You can try.
Right.
Told my son, you never gonna be a good life. You just like your father.
Yes, sir.
I could never lie.
Right.
If I lie, you can look at my face and see I'm lying. Cause I can't hide nothing. Even though I try to keep a straight face, he lying. I give myself away. So I learned just don't lie, cause I can't do it. And I told my son, and he said, "You're right, Dad." He said, "At first, I don't like trying to keep up with all them lies. I can't remember what I said. Hell, I just go and tell the truth, and then, hey, it is what it is." The Spirit of God is on you. So let your light shine.
Say that.
Let it shine.
Uh-huh.
Don't try to hide it. They better not ask me if I'm with Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
Damn right I'm with Farrakhan.
That's right.
You got a problem with that? You got a problem with that? You got a problem with that? You're not gonna save the job.
That's right.
They're gonna take it in there.
Yeah.
They're gonna take it. They're gonna take it. They're gonna write stuff up on you. He with that racist.
Yeah.
They're gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
Because they want to kill Lazarus.
Yes, sir.
See, in today's time, that means they gotta stop you and me. And I'm gonna close. I gotta tell you this part.
Come on.
Look, they'll send people in among you. They know we don't let whites in, so they'll send somebody in black.
Come on. Come on.
They'll send them over here to you, sisters. He know the teaching. Because he was paid to study. Now he wants to marry you. You know we have courtship, but he gonna tell you we ain't got no courtship, sister. Your law is the courtship. Allahu Akbar. We ain't gotta go see no captain. Oh, he'll tell you we married in the universe. Now something could happen to him, and he married in the universe. Whatever he owned, you ain't gonna get none of it. The universe gonna get whatever he got. Because you don't have nothing to say you all are married. Or you found married in another city. We have articles where they have sent people in among Muslims who were HIV positive to infect the sisters with AIDS.
Speak on that. Speak on that.
What, I say something wrong?
No, sir. Speak on that.
So the one that come, he got to be handsome. He got to be attracted to you.
Yes, sir.
And so now you want to get married. And he tell you he like you, but he's looking at another sister. So you going to try to one-up him.
Right.
Because you want to reel him in. And you end up with something. See? Both sides. Or some brother come in and tell you, you know, I got this plan. We're going to go down here and get some gold. All I need is $4,000. We're going to make $25,000 the first week. Allahu Akbar. I'm going to take back from the devil what he been taking from us for 400 years. We're going to do for 7. And you give him your $4,000. You don't get a dime back. And you sitting there looking. Now you mad at the nation. Because you would now overlooked our own common sense. In in the street, you wouldn't have went for that.
Yes, sir. Why not?
Now you come in the nation and all of a sudden you forget common sense.
Come on, man.
So they infiltrate our houses.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they do.
Yes, sir.
And they stir up stuff.
Right.
See? So the brother will come in and he'll start questioning the captain
Right.
or the lieutenant. Let me disabuse everybody right now.
Yes, sir.
Nobody in here is perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They look good.
Right.
All of us look good.
Right.
But you catch us on the right day, we get to cussing up in here. Let me stop you. Don't think there ain't no angels in here. We catch came up from the hood just like you.
Say that.
So don't let nobody sneak up to you with some slurpy idea.
Right. Come on now.
Start talking and stuff
Yes, sir.
against those in authority.
Right.
Let me tell you how you find a snake.
Come on now.
There's my sister captain, Sister Stephanie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Raise your hand, sister. So she trains our women. If somebody come to you and say anything about her, you say, come here.
Right.
You go right to Sister Stephanie.
That's it.
This sister said
Right.
that you
Right.
what doing to Michael Jackson.
Come on now.
And start moonwalking out of that thing because now exposed the devil only exists doing what you call secrecy or darkness. But it can't rule when there's light.
That's right.
So if they're coming after the minister, they're going to come after you.
Right.
So they're going to come on Facebook, on your page, come on your Instagram page. Sister, I'm going to privately inbox you. Sister, are you married? Sister, see, this is coming now. No stupid arguments. You arguing on Facebook whether Master Fard Muhammad prays or not.
Come on, man.
See, you want your brother? They try to call me, Brother Anthony, can you help me with this argument? Hell no. Let me ask you something. If you find out he did or didn't, how many going to be saved with that kind of information?
Think about it.
Once you figure that out, how many black? See, my to say black. I ain't got time to argue no stuff like that. They're trying to shake your foundation.
Yes, sir.
And here we're trying to argue high principles of truth that we don't understand. So leave it alone.
Yes, sir.
Hell, I don't know if he prayed or not. I don't know. I know I pray.
Say that.
I need to make my prayer. Whether he does, I don't know. You arguing over stuff like that.
Right.
And they shake your faith.
Right.
Why the nation ain't doing this?
Come on with the gas light.
Why y'all ain't over here doing, why y'all ain't voting and getting the, man, get out of here. Where the nation at?
Come on.
See? Ku Klux Klan threaten you, they ain't threaten us.
Right. Come on.
And you want to know where the nation at?
Yeah.
No, we supposed to come and protect you from the Klan. Then you don't want us to, Brother Willie, they don't want us to talk. They just want us to stand on post.
Right.
While they spew out something that they talking.
Right.
Like we don't have anything to say. We don't have any scholarship. We just a bunch of bodies that beat up or something. No, Bratzi, that's all. We just thugs. See, it's very insulting. Where the nation at? We cleaning up black men.
Come on.
That's what we cleaning up black women.
Yes, sir.
We working on doing for self. That's what we doing. We all over the country. We all over the country saying black people. And you be careful.
Right.
That's how they sneak in. Because you can't answer the question, then you start doubting your faith.
Yes, sir.
We need to be doing more. Yes, true. We all need to do more. All of us need to do more.
Always.
But don't throw that off on what we are doing.
Yes, sir.
What's the value of being saved?
Yes, sir. Come on. Think about that.
If Minister Farrakhan not open his mouth ever again, what he has done is, what word could I use? What can you say if he never speaks again? That man has spread Islam. And the words of his teacher, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, if he never opens his mouth again, he has done his job. And it's time for us to do our. It's time for us to do our. And stand boldly and be his helpers. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
So, can you give me 5 minutes?
Yes, sir.
How do you help the minister? Because we always say, we're going to help.
Right.
How do you help him? They take him off Facebook. They take him off Instagram.
Right.
So what should you do? Put him on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Put him on Instagram. Make him take all of us off.
Yes, sir.
So take it and you put a clip, whatever, because some of the brothers, y'all so creative. Some of the stuff y'all put there so cold. I just share it. I'm sharing that one. Brother Ken, if I got one you have, man, I'm gonna share that one. I'm gonna share that one. I didn't create it, brother created it, but it's gonna be on my page. Rashad video so cold. I'm gonna keep on sharing. Over and over again, I'm gonna share. Just share. People saying beautiful things and showing everything. Just hit share, hit like, share. Let them chase it. But not only that, now you have to go after your people.
Yes, sir.
So you have to start your own fishing campaign.
Yes, sir.
Teach us, Muhammad.
You got to go fishing.
Yes, sir.
Not for white or crappies, but our people will be considered bass or whiting or crappie, different type of people that you run into. You have to, and I have to make it our business to bring somebody to the mosque.
Yes, sir.
Then let me ask a question. How many like what they heard today? You think it's good?
Yes, sir.
Don't you want somebody to hear what you heard?
Yes, sir.
Then why don't you bring one person?
Right.
We can't hold with so many.
Right. We'll share the rest.
But at least you make it your business to try one person.
Yes, sir.
One person.
Right, sir.
Don't make it like you can't do it.
Right.
We only can't do it because we won't do it.
Yes, sir.
Now that's a prayer you make. Allah bless me to go and find one person that wants to come out.
Yes, sir.
Now usually the formula for finding one is you got to ask 10.
That's right. Teach on the formula, man.
It's a math. You can't just ask one
Right.
and then you get turned down because people lie.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming, brother. I'm going to come on with you, brother. Then when you try on Sunday, they won't answer their phone. They dodging you. That's okay. They on the hook.
Right.
But you just ain't reeled that one in yet.
Right.
But ask 10, 15.
Yes, sir.
Get a card with your name on it. Be invitive
Yes, sir.
to people. Then you fish. Don't go and try to answer all their questions in the street.
Right.
See, there's a science to fishing.
Teach. Right.
Fishing don't mean you going out to feed the fish.
No, sir. Come on now.
What you trying to do? You're trying to catch the fish. So you give the fish a little something that the fish like.
Yes, sir.
But the goal is to catch the fish.
Right.
Some of us, our problem is you too busy feeding the fish.
Right.
You trying to answer 25 million questions at one time.
Yes, sir.
Well, they ain't got to come to the mosque. They just call you and get all the answers. And sometimes you overfeed them. And what happens when you overfeed a fish? So fishing is scientific. Also, charity.
Yes, sir.
That's important. Because they didn't want to stop funding from Minister Farrakhan. See, so I was negligent on my charity last month. I have a beautiful sister in the back. She's so beautiful. Brother Minister, you ain't got nothing on your chair. She said it with such a pretty smile. I love her because I can forget.
Yes, sir.
And she'll come and remind me. I'm reminding you. Put
Yes, sir.
Put something in it. Put your money where your mouth is. Don't be negligent. Go back to charity.
Right.
Pay your local charity.
Yes, sir.
Pay your national obligations. Pay your charity.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't have a whole lot. Pay what you have.
Yes, sir.
You'd be surprised at what you have. The part you have might be just what we needed to get over the top.
Yes, sir.
We had all of it, but that little piece you had.
Right.
And when you give your little piece, that put us over the top.
Yes, sir.
None of us know your personal pocket or what's going on in your personal life.
That's right.
Ain't nobody asking that.
Right.
But whatever God blessed you to have,
Yes, sir.
the standard is, or the formula is 10% of what you have.
Yes, sir.
So now if it's war, we got to step it up.
That's right.
We want the enemy to know we will overcome.
Yes, sir.
In everything we do.
That's right.
So we bringing people to the mosque.
That's right.
We're putting our money where our mouth is.
Right.
And we giving our time.
That's right.
Your personal time.
Yes, sir.
Give your time.
Yes, sir.
Make your classes.
Yes, sir.
Fill your classes.
Right.
Give your time and share your spirit.
Yes, sir.
There may be a brother or a sister that came to class and they feeling bad.
Right.
Why? Because they struggling. They just got fired, arguing with their husband or their wife. All of this real talk. That's real life.
Yes, sir.
And they come to class, but you come with your spirit.
Come on.
And the brother, your spirit runs on them.
Yes.
They get in the car and say, man, I'm so glad I came to class. Brother so-and-so lift my spirits, man. Sister so-and-so made me feel good. It ain't as bad as I think it is. And sometimes a believer just needs to be able to make it to the next day.
Right.
I just need to make it a couple of more days. My daughter called me from college and this is her first year. Now, you know, all of a sudden that stuff started hitting upside the head.
Right.
She was feeling overwhelmed.
Yes, sir.
I had to talk to my daughter.
Yes, sir.
And I had to let her know, baby, you ain't got but 3-4 more weeks of this.
Right.
You done already did the heavy lifting.
That's it.
I'm like a corner man in a fight, you know what I'm saying? Baby, you gonna whoop this, you gonna do this. I'm trying to keep her pumped. My baby comes
Yeah.
on the what they call the thing, the Dean's list. She come out on the Dean's list. What I'm talking about. See, look. Hey, that Kareem and Ishmael and look at them brothers.
Say that.
I meant to say I want to tell the parents.
Uh-huh.
I'm so proud of them.
Come on.
I'm so proud of them. They went to that camp.
With the work.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knew
Yes, sir.
Muhammad was on that camp.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right.
They made Muhammad known on that camp. Yes, they did.
Yes, sir.
And we never got a negative report.
No,
Them brothers.
sir.
That one time. I ain't saying they might have went through something. I don't know, One of them, he played. And they were trying to make him do all kind of stuff. He started arguing with the grand potentate or whatever they call him. He ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. They came out calling him Farrakhan. Did you hear what I said? His line name. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right. How you do.
That's how you do it.
Yes, sir.
Like my son before, Brother Kareem goes to the graduation,
Yeah.
and the people stop the whole graduation. Wait a minute, you ain't calling everybody's name you walk across.
Yeah.
Get to him, they stop the graduation and talk about my brother.
Yes, sir.
And they gave him the Distinguished Graduate Award because he came to that campus and taught. All praise to him. I couldn't have been son. I couldn't have been more proud.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right. It is our son.
Humming.
They tore it up. Many others graduated. They've gone to colleges here and there. Some of them are in the room, some of them are not. But they tearing the world up by storm.
That's right. That's it.
We go to the masjid.
Yeah.
They look at the young ones and start asking, are they married? I ain't one of them. We got something, brothers and sisters.
That's right.
They can't handle what we have.
Not at all.
But the hell with them.
That's right.
This is what God has given us.
Yes, sir.
So let's go to work.
Yes, sir.
So these are the three I'm going to put up here. I will get some more later.
Yeah.
But go and bring people. That's my assignment.
Yes, sir.
Your mission.
Right.
This is how you minister.
Yes, sir.
Pay your check. And then you give your personal time.
Yes, sir.
On the fishing campaigns, and when we go out on the call out, brother, go on the call out.
Yes, sir.
Get your final calls and go out.
Right.
Hit the street.
Yes, sir.
Let the people see you
Right. Yes, sir.
in your royal robe. Or let them see you.
Yes, sir.
And let them know who you represent.
That's right.
That's right.
When you come, everybody stop and look.
Right.
And one of them Muslims right there. One of them fair cans. You know how I say fair can. You know how I say it. That's exactly right. So we want them to know we are Farrakhan.
That's right.
We're serious. I thank you for listening. Let me leave you as I came with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Praise the